Y'all, today's show is so good.
But number one, I've never seen an intro like that.
It is my hope and desire that not only will episode 30 still be fun, but episode 300 will be even more fun. You were made for something great, so go and be awesome.
Ten seconds remaining.
And welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of Renee Speaks. Y'all, today's show is going to be so good, and I'll tell you why. It's because of our sponsor, Wilbron. Wilbron is Alabama's premier public relations firm. If y'all have any PR needs, be sure to hit them up at www.wilbron.com. Y'all, today's guest is nothing short of a genius. Let me tell you. Her name is Dr. Nancy Zare, and she is a sales psychologist holding a master's in social work in organizational planning and development and a PhD in social work and organizational development from Boston College. She's also a founder of multiple ventures, including Rapport Builders, which helps salespeople develop relationships with prospects that lead to new business. And she's also the author of several books. She helps her clients learn the right words to say and to know the right approach to attract new business without appearing salesy. Y'all, put your hands together for Dr. Nancy Zare. Nancy.
Renee, you and Brian are amazing.
Well, thank you so much, Nancy, for being on our show today. It is truly, truly an honor and a privilege to be able to take some time, your precious time, because I know you are so busy, and you carved out an hour for us today, and I could not be more grateful. So thank you. Thank you so much. So can you get us started, Nancy? So I know that so many, I'm sorry, let me tee it up a little bit. So many of us are looking forward to building businesses. So CJ saying hi. We are trying to build businesses from scratch sometimes. Sometimes people inherit businesses. Whatever the case is, most of us are on an entrepreneurial journey, just doing what we love to do and just trying to make a living out of it and maybe leave a legacy for our family. There's so many methods and modes to trying to make that happen. And different people have different suggestions or thoughts or philosophies around what it takes to actually be successful as a business owner and to grow your business and scale your business. So the reason why I'm so excited to have you on today's show is because you have mastered what it takes to build a business on LinkedIn. So that is a platform that a lot of people use for building their business, but some people have varying levels of success with it, with the actual conversion of LinkedIn connection to an actual client. So I know as we get through, start talking about your programs and systems, you'll fill us in on tools that we can use, steps we can take, things we can do differently to make things happen on LinkedIn. But before we get started there, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you even get to be a LinkedIn subject matter expert, and tell us about your background and your journey?
It started as a child. I was born a psychologist, always been interested in human behavior. I'm the youngest child, the only girl in a family where there was deep marital strife. And my earliest memory, Renee, is when my parents were fighting, as they did often, and the cupboards are banging, the glasses are breaking, chaos taking place. And I wanted to help. Fast forward to the age of 10, I saw a TV show in which quarreling children were helped to get along. I said, bingo, I'm going to try that on my parents. And they let me. Now, they are both deceased, so I cannot ask them or possess them to let a 10-year-old tell them what to do. But they did. Okay. And here's the scoop. At the end of this conversation, both parents were native-born English-speaking adults. I turned to my dad and I said, this is what you do so mom will feel loved. And I turned to my mom and I said, this is what you do so dad will be respected. Notice that the words changed. I translated what I heard from my parents and was able to tell the other parent what it is that was being said.
Wow. At 10 years old?
I was gifted. I didn't know it then. I'm 10 years old. This didn't seem like any, and besides, I learned this from TV. I didn't think this was something, extraordinary. As I said, I can't ask my parents. They are deceased. But now that I look back as an adult, my goodness, this has been the springboard for what it is I do today, which is to help you talk the language of your prospect. You see, that's the secret for converting prospects into clients. Speak their language.
Wow, that is definitely key. So you got to find out more about what they care about.
Exactly. And you said the magic words, what they care about. You see, this is based on the platinum rule. And I know you know the golden rule, right? Treat others the way I want to be treated. The platinum rule is treat others the way they want to be treated, hence speak their language, care about them. And when you practice this platinum rule, and I've created a system around it called likability. That's like with an A in front of it. It's not about popularity. It's about the person saying to themselves, you get me, we're alike.
Right.
The comfort and trust builds, the sales resistance drops away, and that opens the door to doing business together.
Right, because you have something in common. And when you put forth the effort to find out what that is that you have in common, or you put forth the effort to find out how you can solve their problem and speak to that, that's when it becomes a synergy that just works. It just feels good.
It does. It feels good. It honors the other person. It's respectful. It's not salesy, because you're using their language, their values, their words. You are respecting them and speaking to them in their language.
Right. Absolutely. That's so key, so critical. So that's lesson number 1, is to use the platinum rule and to speak to people and where they are, basically. Find out where they are and speak to that. So then, as we're talking about this, a likability system, I love the wording, a likability system to convert clients or prospects into clients. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? How did that evolve?
So it evolved because I want to confess, okay? I didn't want to be a salesperson. I was a psychologist. Psychologists want to help people. And when I went on to get my master's and doctorate degree, I was given the opportunity to apply for financial funding through the government. I accepted it to be trained to deliver mental health services in the workplace. Good match for me, right? But when I graduated, Renee, I discovered that you can't deliver a service until it's sold. And that's how I backdoored into selling. And I did not know anything about selling. I was never trained. I had that notion in my mind, and I bet many of the listeners do too, that it's about twisting arms and being sleazy and manipulative and kind of painting people into a corner so they say yes, but that's not truly sales. And so I went back to school, not to get a degree, to go to the library. What could I learn from the people who were most successful? And as I already told you, I came across the platinum rule, and then it worked so well, I quadrupled sales in 90 days. And that is what led me to create the likability system.
Wow, I absolutely love that. And we have a few folks in our audience today. Peggy's on. She's saying, good afternoon. Thank you. This information is so valuable. And Dayanara says, what an interesting word, likability. Yes, I think when we do find that how alike we are, the easier it is for us to do business together. And I love how you said that when you started this business, you were not a salesperson. This is not what you woke up in the morning deciding that this was what you were going to be. And I can relate to that very well.
You know, my clients can too. And I bet many of the listeners as well, especially the mompreneur, right? That's not, who trained you? Nobody trained us to do marketing and sales unless that's your area of expertise. And so most of us, we love what we do. We got some sort of education, credential, training to do that occupation, and we love it. And then the rude awakening happens. Oh my goodness, in order to do what I love, I'm going to have to do something I've never been trained to do and may not even like.
That's right. That's right. And I can relate to that so well, because you said the key words. You can't deliver a service until you close a deal.
Yeah.
Well, in order to close a deal, you got to do some sales.
Yeah, nothing happens in business until a sale is made. And so I don't care how smart you are and how educated and how talented you are, until you have clients that you can bestow your gifts, it goes for naught.
It's like, what's the point? You have no one to give your service to. So let's go ahead and dive right in then. So these techniques, so how do we use these techniques that we learn in the likability system to read personality styles online? Because that's where we are these days, pretty much reaching out to people, and networking is online.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's do that.
There are 5 steps in a likability. Obviously, we're not going to go into all of the steps, but I'll briefly tell you that it starts with step 1, which is that there are 4 distinct personality styles, and they probably coordinate with the 4 quadrants of our brain. 30% of the population have a dominance in just 1/4 of the brain, one segment. The rest of us, 70%, we go between those parts of our brain, and hence we have a social style, and then we have a business style. And so it's important that step 3 is when you diagnose your prospect. And we do it in a quick minute by going to their LinkedIn profile. That's one of the best tools that we use to figure out ahead of time, before you've even met, who is it that I'm likely to speak with today?
Right. Because one of the things I have learned is that you can actually get all of your contacts, all of your connections in LinkedIn out of LinkedIn.
Yes, you can.
And then once you get them out, then you maybe can prioritize them, who would be the best fit for you to reach out to, that sort of thing. I don't want to, tell any secrets that you may have yet, but that's one of the things I just learned. And Peggy said that this is a great insight, being a home care business owner.
Yes.
So she offers home care services. And so on LinkedIn, maybe that's where her people are too. So thank you for
1 billion members are on LinkedIn, and every second 2 more people enroll in LinkedIn. Your prospect, your best client, is already on LinkedIn. Even if you're business to consumer, as I think Peggy might be, guess what? We working people need your service. We need the home care. Hence,
Right.
we're on LinkedIn.
That's right.
And
Oh,
by the way, this does work for Facebook too, but LinkedIn's got certain features that are make it so easy to read, which is a little different than Facebook.
Got it. Got it. Well, let's focus on LinkedIn for now and just know in the back of our heads that this also works on Facebook. So you've shared with us that there are 5 initial steps.
Yeah, 5 steps.
5 steps. And then as we're working our way through the steps, I think you said step 3 was
diagnosis.
Diagnosis. Yeah.
Right. Let's figure out
diagnosis.
Yeah, this is, of course, the crucial step, and that is to diagnose, to figure out who am I speaking with, who am I communicating with, like I said, even ahead of time. And once you know that, now step 4 is where you adjust what you say, you shift your language to match them. So see how it's so important to know who they are before I can shift what I'm going to say.
Yes. So, okay, and I'm sorry to interrupt because this is all like I'm dealing with this like right now.
I know you are, and I can't wait to dive into your LinkedIn profile and help you, which, by the way, that's a gift for all of you.
Ooh, y'all hear that? We get some gifts, y'all. Okay, so stay tuned to the end so you can hear about all the gifts and our LinkedIn profiles. So is there a way, say somebody like you has 9,000 connections, how do we diagnose and can we categorize all of them into one bucket, one segment into one bucket and send them all the same message?
The answer, no, because people are different, right? People are different. And I mean, when you're speaking in front of an audience, you can use words that will resonate with all the 4 styles. There are 4 personality styles. However, it gets muddy. And unless you're really skilled, it's difficult to do. So I recommend, remember I talked about the fact that there are 2 of the 4 styles that we tend to, go between. I recommend that you identify those 2 styles and your messages be laser focused for them. And again, that's something that I help my clients do by identifying the ideal buyer persona. I'm sure people have heard that term before. Sometimes people use the word avatar. But when you know exactly who it is you're trying to reach, you're going to be so much better than when you want to reach everyone. When you ask for everyone, you get no one.
Right. Oh, so identifying your audience is so key. And to see who is your ideal client avatar,
right?
And you'll show us, a little bit further, if people hired for your services, what exactly that looks like. How do you identify who your people are? Who are your people? So that's definitely going to be useful. And Diana says that she'll definitely utilize LinkedIn for her business as well. It's so important. I mean, it's so critical. There's, like you said, 1 billion people
and growing.
Surely within that 1 billion people, one of them is for me.
More than one, right? More than one, right? I don't want to settle for one. Do you?
No, definitely not. We'll start there, but we certainly don't want to stay there.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So if I may, let me go back to Peggy for a second, who said she does home care. Now, home care could be for different ages, right?
Right.
And different stages. It could be for little toddler or newborns, right? There could be home care because the mom and newborn need support and help, and gosh, the home needs the care, right?
Right.
It could be for another stage in life. Perhaps there's a disability or somebody came home from the hospital with a surgical procedure and has limited, ability to get around.
Right.
That's a different kind of home care. Then there's a home care maybe for an elderly person or an Alzheimer or on and on and on. So you see how even being specific about your audience for home care will immediately start to attract the right people to you. And every one of you, every listener out there, think about that for your own business, because when you are specific, you'll be terrific.
I love that. When you are specific, you will be terrific. That is a great way to remember the importance of being specific when we are targeting our potential new clients in LinkedIn. So important, so important. So can you share with us like a success story that you had using the likability system?
Yeah, there's so many success stories. So let's see, the one that comes to mind, and it really has to do with what we just were mentioning about being specific. I worked with a web designer. And you would say again, web design, we all need a website, hence, what do we need to say? But she began to, with my, support, we looked at who were her favorite people to work with, what did they have in common, and she honed in on the green construction industry. Now you're thinking, who are those? Well, it's people who are doing repairs to homes or building homes or doing roofing and siding, but they're ecologically, they're green. They're not adding to environmental pollution. And you're
Mhm.
thinking, well, that seems to be so specific. How the heck is she going to get any clients at all? Well, by doing that, not only did she become the go-to in the industry, but guess what? Other people came to her too, a nonprofit organization, because they saw the success that she was having. So again, and how did that grow? It grows by learning how to create a prospect list on LinkedIn, develop relationships with them through direct messaging, and eventually lead them to a conversation like we're having right now in real time so that you can talk more specifically about the client's concerns and issues, and if necessary, present your solution.
Mm. I love that. So the wheels are turning in my head. I don't know if you saw it. You probably see some smoke coming. The wheels just spinning and spinning. So as I'm thinking about what you're saying, and the importance of using LinkedIn to find out who your people are, and then maybe segregate them out into being prospects, and then tailoring the messaging to them, specifically to them and their pain points, and how you, as your service, can solve that, be their solution that they're looking for. And Lucy agrees with me. She loves this topic. She says the timing is perfect, and she's shifting her focus to LinkedIn after being mostly active on Facebook and Instagram for years. So this is such a timely message. It's so critical for all of us right now.
So,
If we're
Lucy,
building,
would you kindly tell us what your occupation is? Because I'm going to actually walk us through what you could do. Would that be a good idea?
I'd love that idea. Lucy, if you're still out there, let us know what it is that you do, and we'll actually do a
That's right.
real live some support here to try to get you pointed in the right direction. And because LinkedIn, I'm sure, would be a much better platform, for the audience that you have or that you're trying to reach, because of those 1 billion people that are there.
Okay, let's start with CJ. CJ has an event design business, and she can't envision how she's going to use LinkedIn, right?
Right.
So, first of all, event design sounds again like, oh, okay, I get it, except I don't get it. What kind of events? Are these social events like weddings, confirmations, picnics during the summer? Or are they business events? So again, by giving more specificity to what you're saying, people will more quickly identify, oh, I could use her. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm planning an event for my organization. And by the way, there are events online and there are events in person. All of this is, there's a lot of work behind putting on an event. I mean, think about it, Renee, just putting on this podcast is a lot of work, right? It's an
Oh,
event.
it is an event. Every week, it's an event.
So when CJ has a sense of who she wants to contact, and let's say that she wants to do business events, and I've had a client who was focused on business events, then again, you want to take a look at what size company and what industry might be a good fit for the kinds of events I'm talking about. Obviously, they don't have an event planner on staff. You would have to be a fairly large organization to have that. So we're talking about smaller and mid-sized companies that want to have an event. So by having those criteria, which is looking at the size, looking at the industry, there's actually a search you can do in LinkedIn that will generate a list of first connections and then their connections, which are called second links or second level connections. And from that list, now you're ready to take the next step, which is to do your due diligence, just as Renee said a moment ago, and determine who of that list is worth my time, because there's a greater possibility for connecting with them and doing business together.
Right. I love that. And I, as a former event planner myself, this kind of resonates with me. Because when I think about it, I love how you brought up the fact that there are business events, there are personal events, there's weddings, there's online events, there's hybrid events, there's all kind of, and with each one comes its own set of parameters that you need to, consider and that sort of thing. And so one of the tools that I used to use when I was in that business is I would go to where the event planners were and find and network with them, or find out the people who hired event planners, like typically an executive assistant in a business who's working for an executive has to plan an event. Well, those could be my lead into whatever organization I'm trying to get to, but I wouldn't know that if I weren't networking with them, whether it's on LinkedIn or through professional development organizations.
Yeah, and Peggy just spoke up and said, that by helping her think through this, she's able to see that her main focus is dementia and cognitive decline. When you start adding that messaging, Peggy, you're going to find that people will it's much easier for them to say, I need you. And just adding that phrase will help them find you better, because obviously you're doing some work to create visibility, which is why you're on social media right now. We're all trying to create visibility. Right now, Renee and I are also creating what's called credibility by talking with each other and sharing our expertise. The listener, the viewer is saying, oh, these people are smart. I think I can listen and gain something from them. But then what you're trying to do is eventually get into what's called profitability, which is, now I'm ready. Please, I'd like to hire you.
Right. Exactly. 100%. And so thank you, Peggy and CJ, for your feedback and comments in the chat, because this is so important. Because Peggy says, can you imagine this can enhance our growth as we seek to serve the senior community, and the main focus being on dementia and cognitive decline. And when like you said, Nancy, if Peggy tailors her messaging with those words, your words are so important. That's what lets people know who you are and what problem you solve, and that they need to be connecting to you if that's their issue.
And then I would go even farther for Peggy than just, the words of cognitive, dementia and so forth. I would then say to her, of the 4 personality styles, and I haven't identified them as yet, but of the 4, remember 2 are probably in her wheelhouse. And so are they the person who is the caretaker, who is interested in relationships and connecting and serving a higher purpose, and they're very cause-oriented? Yeah, that's who I am. That's who Renee is. Or are they the person who is super busy and, bottom line, and have no time, and this is yet another burden? That's a different type of prospect for you. A third type of prospect would be the person who wants things orderly and structured and needs a system and a method in place. again, that it's different languaging for that person. And finally, the last person is very geeky. They do a lot of research and thinking. So in that case, you're going to want to present more statistics and information and scientific evidence about having a third party deliver the service. So see, it's more than just those words. There's some values you've got to wrap around them as well.
Wow, so good. So good. And then also as you were talking, Nancy, it made me think too about the importance of letting the potential new client know not only do you offer these services, but maybe you have some case studies so you can prove what you've done and the value that you bring. So to help them make their decision quicker.
Mm-hmm. Really good insight on your part, because again, the people who want a story and a testimonial are not the people who want the data and the statistics and the research. So you need to be prepared with both.
Right. Oh, so good. And Lucy says that she's a professional organizer. How would you suggest that she proceed to use LinkedIn in her professional organization business?
So again, professional organizer is still a fairly broad topic, right?
Yeah.
So do you do professional organization for someone who's works out of their home, or do you do organization of the kitchen, or professional organization of the closet? And, there are different areas where you could be organizing people. And of course, different ways that you could help people get organized. I have a professional organizer who helps me with my software and applications. Very different kind of professional organizer, right? So again, your term is broad, and I would urge you to think, where do you like to shine? What do you like to do best?
Right. Oh, that is so good, because that's one of the services that we offer at Executive Help Now is electronic filing organization, and which helps companies and their systems to stay organized and be able to retrieve information quicker, because there's so much information and they need to know how to find it and just at the super quick. So so
people spend hours doing that, and then it's like, oh, holy moly, and you could do it for me, and your service is so reasonable and affordable and reliable.
Right, exactly. The 100%. So important to make it clear. Don't just stay broad, but make it clear exactly the service that you offer and the problem that you solve. And then I think, Nancy, I may have interrupted when we were talking about the 5 pieces. I think I interrupted at 4. So
I'll just quickly say, step 1, there are 4 styles. We need to define and identify them, especially in terms of their values. Step 2 is to know your style. Why is that important? We sell the way we buy. So you need to know what your own bias is towards selling. The third step, as I mentioned, is to diagnose and figure out the other person's style. The fourth step is now to adjust and shift what you say to match their style. And the fifth, it goes back to knowing your style. Every style is a double-edged sword. It has pluses, it has minuses, and you want to enhance the pluses and you want to diminish the minuses. And so those are the 5 steps.
Right. Oh, I love it. Such great advice. So many golden nuggets and words of wisdom here to help us as we get ready to get our mind right. That's what it sounds like we need to do first. Get our mind right before we can actually start to do the actual deep dive and figuring out how to actually target our people so that we know that our messaging isn't just landing on dull ears, but actually resonating with people who can relate to what it is we're talking about.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Awesome. So, and also too, it sounds like understanding these personality styles will help improve the client relationships. Would you say that is true, or tell us more about that?
It's absolutely true. Again, when you know your own style and you know the 2 styles that you work best with, that means that the third and the fourth style maybe they're the person who drives you nuts. They rub you the wrong way. You just don't satisfy them, and you feel depleted because you're not able to give them the service that they expected, even though you worked your heart out. Well, this will help you with your client relationships because you'll be able to pick and choose who to work with, who's going to feed my juice and make me excited, and who's going to deplete me and drain my energy, so that you can avoid those people. And here's another little nugget. Find somebody who does what you do, but has a different style. And now you can refer to each other the people that are not appropriate or are not a good fit for you. You can refer it to them, and they can refer those to you. And you can have an amazing relationship with someone who's a colleague and does what you do.
Right. I love that. I love it, because not everybody isn't for everybody. Do you know what I mean? And so that is when you have these different perspectives or different gifts or different tolerances, I would even put it that way. Because some people like to work with people who are very direct and don't mince words and are just, very structured and that sort of thing. And some people are intimidated by that and they don't like that. And they would rather work with someone who uses more words and kind of flowering, hey, how you doing? How's the family? Blah, 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 blah. Those are two very different dynamics and different personality styles. So it's really good to, once you know that and have someone else who likes the thing that you don't, then that can be a really great referral partner to have and a great relationship.
Yeah, it's a win-win for everybody. You win, the other person wins, and of course the client wins most of all because they have a good fit.
Absolutely, 100%. And CJ says that these are true golden nuggets. CJ, I couldn't more. So good.
That's why I'm wearing my gold hat, for the gold nuggets.
I love it. That's a gray hat. And these are truly just wonderful nuggets for us to think on and to start to implement. So what advice do you have for entrepreneurs to better connect with their prospects?
It starts with the platinum rule. It starts with your understanding that it's not about me, it's about my prospect, about my client. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make is that we're too in our heads, especially with the word sell or sale, brings up that idea that we need to manipulate someone to do something, to give up their money. That is not the truth. It's about serving people. And maybe the best service you can offer would be to help that person think through what exactly is the issue. And you may not even be the right person to solve it, but helping them get some clarity around that issue, you've done them a service. So think service, think platinum rule, think how can I, again, help and care for the other person. Just like what you said earlier, Renee, how can I express my caring?
Right, exactly. And I think too, when you think not so much in terms of a sale, but in terms of how can I best serve you? How can I best meet your need where you are right now in your business? What pain point do you have that I can be a solution for? When we come at it from that perspective or with that mindset, the money will come. Yeah, the money will come. We don't have to worry about it. It will come because you put the other person first and you have a servant's heart and a servant's mentality. It's about serving people. For sure. 100%.
Well said. Mm-hmm.
So what are your future goals for the likability system?
I actually am looking for people who want to learn it and then become, certified to deliver it to others, because it works. It helps people gain a different perspective on the sales process and on relationships. So that's my vision, is to help train other people to deliver this message.
That is fantastic. And I know that you're going to absolutely do that. With there being so many people who are starting new businesses or have been in business maybe even for years, and are, have been doing things a certain way for so long, and maybe now exploring this whole new LinkedIn. I say new loosely, but this this new marketing tool, that for their business. It's for everyone. I think in between.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how long.
It's not, LinkedIn is not new, but perhaps you're new to LinkedIn. And if you are new to LinkedIn, or even as an old person who's been on the platform a while, one of the things that I'm offering, as we mentioned earlier, is an audit of your LinkedIn profile from the point of view of your personality style and whether you're communicating to the prospects that you're trying to reach. And it's a gift. There is no charge for it. So I know that the link will be available for you to sign up. And I look forward to helping each of you individually figure out how to use your LinkedIn profile in a smart way to find prospects and convert them into clients.
Yes, and we have pulled up on the screen here too, from one of your websites, a LinkedIn personality profile audit, who you're attracting. Here's how it works, any additional bonuses. So definitely take advantage, CJ, Peggy, Lucy, and anyone else who's listening today. Reach out to Nancy. Take full advantage of this link that's going to be dropped in the chat later, and even in the replay in the show notes. You'll have full access to this, and it's free. Take advantage so that you can figure out what those words are that need to be said to reach your target audience, your target ideal clients, right where they are. And Peggy said, "This is so good." Be on the lookout for Peggy's name, Nancy.
So Peggy, I'm looking forward to talking with you, but after I've talked to Renee. Renee's
right.
First in line.
That's right. Me first. I'm so excited, so super excited, because like I was mentioning to you in the green room before we started the show, Nancy, as a business owner and building the business, 100% all in. This is what I do all day, every day, is I own a company called Executive Help Now, and it's a virtual assistant service agency. And what we do is provide virtual support to business owners, entrepreneurs, corporations, in a remote way. So whether it's administrative support that they need, email management, calendar management, project management, travel arrangements, expense reporting, the whole nine, all that administrative stuff that an executive assistant in the office does, that's a service that we offer remotely. And my job is to match the clients to the right virtual assistant, and to also bring on new clients to assign to the virtual assistants. And so one of the tools that I use is LinkedIn when I'm reaching out and trying to reconnect with my people who know me already, that we've either worked together in the past or been on a platform together or met at a networking event, whatever it is. These people have met me and they know me. And so I'm connected with them on LinkedIn. And so I figured that would be the best place for me to go to continue to tell them about the different things that we're doing and to offer our services. So what advice would you have for me as a next step then?
Advice for you, of course, to sign up for the audit and for us to go over it. One of the most important parts of your LinkedIn profile is your photo. So for those of you who may not have a professional photo of you, think about that. Selfies with your arm, extended and another person's hand on your shoulder do not give the right message to the potential prospect. So you want to have a professional photo. And by the way, there are photographers that can give you the tips on how to do that using your own smartphone. But otherwise, I'm sure, Renee, I've invested in having a professional photo shoot. And guess what? I felt like a queen. Did you?
I did. It was awesome. They were moving my arms around and saying, do this. And
I loved it. I loved it. And they will capture the right look and the right feel and the right message that you want to convey to your audience. So that's what I'd suggest in the meantime, is to really look at your photo. It says a lot about you.
Right. I love that. But Nancy, one of the things I heard in the past, so I was around before LinkedIn, right?
Me too. And LinkedIn is, I think, 14 years old. So let's hope both of us have been around.
And so when it first came out, they were like, need professional. But then there was a point in time when they were like, it's changing its feel a little bit. And the more casual you look, or the more casual look you look, the more relatable you are. And the more they will want to be engaged with you or do business with you. What do you say about that?
See, your photo, maybe not. Your other kinds of social media, like, for example, you can put up a video on LinkedIn. I go live on LinkedIn every week, and those are clearly going to be informal. You can also have other informal photos that you add to your posts, etc. But that initial picture, I can't tell you how, that's what people are looking at. The first thing people do is they go and they look at that, the banner and your photo that's against it. And if that photo is uninviting, then you've just lost somebody and you didn't even know it.
That's right. Without saying a word. And they make that decision like within seconds, like a fraction of a second.
3 seconds is all you have to make a first impression. And if that first impression is you're not approachable, or you're too casual, or you don't take life seriously, guess what? Off they go to somebody else's banner.
That's right. That's right. So your first photo is your first impression. So it's critical that how you look when someone goes onto your LinkedIn profile will tell the story of your future success. as in terms of how many people you reach on LinkedIn. So, and does that apply to both the personal page as well as the business page?
No, the business page doesn't need your photo. It can happily exist with logo or something else.
Got you. Okay, good. That's good to know.
Okay, Peggy, you go for it, girl.
Yes, Peggy's going to be in touch. And I see that TJ has joined us the stream. So welcome to the show, TJ. We are definitely talking all things LinkedIn. We know that you are in a business, your own. You couldn't open this on Facebook. Okay, we'll figure out what's going on with Facebook. I've been hearing some things about Facebook having some technology problems.
Facebook has determined that you can't restream to it anymore. And so all of us who've been using StreamYard and Restream to go to Facebook, we're being cut off. And it's been happening to me too.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, TJ. So it's not just you. It is a Facebook thing, and it's not a us thing. It's definitely a Facebook thing. But yeah, if it tells you that the video can't load, it's because Facebook has made a decision, according to Nancy, that StreamYard and Restream and all these other streaming platforms won't do it.
You have to go directly to Facebook and do it live on Facebook.
Right.
Which then means we can't be on LinkedIn or YouTube or anywhere else.
Well, that stinks. So, but anyways, glad you made it to the show. We were just talking about the importance and how we can use LinkedIn to grow our businesses. And Nancy has shared so many golden nuggets with us of how we can make sure that our profile looks appealing once we've identified who our target audience is on LinkedIn, that we can customize our language to speak with them in a way that draws them to us and makes them want to buy from us without sounding salesy. So did I get that, Nancy?
You got it. You're a fast learner, Renee.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I know that TJ is also in a service industry as well, and perhaps maybe LinkedIn could be a good use for him for finding new clients as well for what he wants to do. And if he wants to share in the chat what he does or what his business is and how LinkedIn might be able to benefit him in his business, that would be fantastic. But otherwise, Lucy did come back and say that she specializes in organizing, decluttering, downsizing, home staging, and office workflow solutions.
So this is going to be the challenge for you. Choose one, perhaps your most lucrative area, and promote that. That doesn't mean you wouldn't do other work, but you need to be focused, super focused on one area, because a confused mind doesn't buy.
So true. A confused mind does not buy. That is so true. But it's so hard. What if she loves doing all of them?
I know
Should
she does. I know she does. I love many things too, but one has to, by being specific, you will be terrific. I promise. I'll give you a quick example of someone very much like you, my client, Deb, who has been a home stager and does decluttering and organization and downsizing, and she helps people move. She does it all. And she is taking a look at her elevator speech and her messaging going towards one audience and one message. Will she do other things? Of course she will. People know her, etc. But by doing that, it'll make it so much easier for people to say, oh, I need to hire her. She's doing what I need. Or they can ask the question, would you help me declutter my home instead of stage it?
Right. I love it. So yes, when you are specific, you will be terrific. So remember that, Lucy. And TJ says he's in the car business. So TJ is a car salesman. So how do you use LinkedIn to build
sales, TJ? Is that what he does?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so how you use it, it's interesting. One of my colleagues is selling luxury property in the islands. And you're thinking, well, wait a second, what does that have to do with LinkedIn? But daily, not just once a week, and by the way, it is suggested you be very consistent if you're posting. He posts daily shots of luxury property, gives specifications. He makes you drool. Now, think about it. Executives, other people, they're buying cars, are they not, TJ? Everybody's buying a car who has to commute to a job or a place of work or whatever. Hence, you can start talking about, the different cars that you have and the different features and their benefits and so forth. And you will build up people who will then say, he knows a lot about cars. I will go to him to help me with the purchase.
I love it. I think that's fantastic. And even though he's in one particular area, I'm not sure how car sales go like across the state lines or whatever. But anyways, that's maybe a subject for a whole.
That's why I mentioned real estate. The real estate is only in one particular island, in one particular place, right? And yet he's promoting it to people, not just, by the way, in the United States, all over, because internationally, that LinkedIn is seen all over the globe. So if anyone is thinking of investing in a luxury property, but they live in Romania, they may contact him because he's the go-to for that kind of luxury property.
Wow. So LinkedIn, there's like no limit to LinkedIn in any industry, because it does help build credibility. When you are consistently posting, you're consistently sharing your knowledge and expertise and your inventory if you have products. And people will come to you. You'll develop these relationships, and people will introduce you to other people and who know other people. And that's how you get known. And that's how you develop these relationships, and you nurture them from LinkedIn. Y'all, LinkedIn is a game changer. Okay. I'm just saying, it is a game changer. And so TJ says, is LinkedIn the most effective way to network in the car business?
I don't have the answer for that, but if you choose that as your platform, it may well be. And again, you have to devote yourself and be dedicated and be consistent. And again, it's very easy for you to post. There are some great photos I'm sure you have of the cars you represent. You don't even use it. That's even funnier.
Yeah, he doesn't. But he goes on to say, "You've changed my mind."
Well,
Absolutely.
are you using Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest? I mean, I'm sure. Are you using any social media? I mean, you're on YouTube right now, and YouTube is usually a place. It's the second most searched platform. And again, I'm sure there are plenty of videos, but maybe you need to think about, creating a video about your cars that you represent.
Right. I think that that is fantastic. And in terms of using LinkedIn as a place to network for the car business, like you can connect anywhere. And LinkedIn has groups. If
Yes.
you find the groups of car salesmen, they don't have to necessarily be in the city or state where you are, because if you sell a car in Georgia, I'm sure you have to go through similar processes and systems or deal with similar things in Minnesota or California or Texas. So you get to be a part of a LinkedIn group where you can talk to other people about the different things that they do, the challenges that they've had, what they've done to overcome them, how they've increased their sales. And sure thing, absolutely. I would use LinkedIn for that purpose for sure.
And you mentioned groups, which is such an amazing part of LinkedIn. So hopefully, Renee, you are going to join some groups if you haven't already. Groups, for example, of small business owners, because they need VAs. Most of them are understaffed and trying to do it all themselves.
That's right. That's right. And I am a part of groups, but most of my groups are on Facebook. So now
But you got a new avenue. We're opening up a new treasure chest for you of opportunities and possibilities.
I'm so excited. I can't stand it.
Her business is going to explode.
Do you see me over here? I'm like,
See, her next message will be, I'm looking for staff for my organization.
right, right, exactly. And LinkedIn is great for that too. Let me tell you, I am a witness. So TJ said he's going to try to find out his login. Okay, good. Find your login.
Or just create a new LinkedIn, and start from scratch if you can't find your login.
Right. Or there's a forgot password button down there too, if you want to just update instead of reinventing the wheel. If you've got, content out there you just kind of forgot about. But anyways, it's LinkedIn truly, if you are a business owner, or you are in a service industry and you want new clients or you need new clients, LinkedIn is definitely the place to go to do it. And Nancy, if you want to talk a little bit more about that free gift that you're offering, one more time for those that have joined the stream a little bit later, I'm sure they would love to hear a little bit more about it. And we still want to find out how we can reach you after the stream is over. We've got less than 5 minutes.
Okay. So very quickly, the LinkedIn personality profile audit is an opportunity for you to discover how people on LinkedIn view you and how they see you, so that you can alter your profile and attract the right clients. And so that's what it's all about. It takes about 30 to 40 minutes for us to do this together. And I will be starting with the banner, your photo, the headline underneath, the about section. Those are some of the things that we will touch on during the audit. These are the things that people read when they first come. This is how they look at you. And, 40% of people go to your profile to look at you. It's the first thing that comes up in a Google search. So again, it's a free gift. And I will see you at one of the audits.
Absolutely. And I did just drop the link into the chat for anyone who is interested in taking full advantage of this free gift to get set up to hit the ground running and take full advantage of LinkedIn. Screenshot it, press pause, whatever. If you don't get to it on the screen right now, it'll be in the show notes later. But certainly take full advantage of this opportunity to have your LinkedIn profile looked at and audited so that you can become even more successful in your business. So we have 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. Nancy, tell us how we can reach you, stay in touch. This has been fantastic.
Surprise, surprise, come to LinkedIn and look me up. LinkedIn.com/in/Nancy Zare, all one word, spell Zare correctly. There it is. It's on the screen here, and connect with me. Of course, you could also do it on the website, but most people will look me up on LinkedIn, and I invite you to do the same.
Absolutely, 100%. And there's her, she's at nancyzare.com as well. If you want to check out her website, definitely having Nancy in your life will change your life.
So I want to say that Renee and her staff have been amazing. I've been on many podcasts. This is probably it ranks at the top 2 or 3 podcasts I've ever been on. And that's because of the great staff that you have behind you, as well as your ability, Renee, to field questions and keep the conversation going. And listeners, and especially the ones who participated, you made this an amazing experience. My gratitude. I thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Nancy, for those kind words. You are truly amazing. You were made for something great. So go and be awesome.
To your sales success.